Welcome in. So, we're going to be doing this channeling differently, kind of like the other one we did the other day. Just because I feel like for me, it's more helpful if I'm not distracted as much as I would be if the camera was on and you can see like a bunch of things going on. I do have cards in front of me and I do have my crystal ball. Although I don't necessarily need one or the other, however, they are helpful tools to add layers to the message. So we're just going to wait for people to enter the room. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader and intuitive coach since 2020. Crazy because I just posted on my Patreon about what were you doing during the COVID pandemic. And so I did a little short blog going down memory lane a little bit. So much has changed since then, right? I heard displacement, so I guess I'm already channeling. I'll just start channeling, I guess. Justice, Libra energy keeps coming out. Balance in relationships. Hi, welcome in. Thanks for the fire emoji. Please double tap to like the video, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. If you've been here before, show yourself. Let me know in the chat. Michael, have you been here before? Uh, Advocacy is here. Standing up to someone or even standing up to yourself is present here. So someone could be dealing with a situation like that. Hello, hello, welcome in. Water cannot explain why it often wanders. Emphasis on the why. There's another tarot reader on YouTube. I can't remember who it is, but she often says to talk to your water and that it helps you manifest because water holds memory. Did anyone know that? I think it is very similar to holy water. I do, I do. I have prayed over my water. I have said affirmations over my tea. And it's not like uncommon for witches. So maybe there's a message like that out there for someone. Try it if you haven't. And like, what could it hurt really? You know? Like I feel like there's such a divide these days and people judging and less trying to understand and almost looking for ways to scrutinize people and like jump on them even when they're down. Have you noticed that? That's been a thing. That's been a theme. 444. That's always a thing for me. Maybe it's a thing for someone out there. During the rainy season, water needs excellent care, whatever that means. It's crazy how the algorithm just like boosts and then goes away. And then it boosts and then it goes away. And so there's a message about that there about progress, right? We tend to think that we jump from point A to point B, but it tends to happen in waves. Like, sorry, I'm like wiping my eyes. The collective is sleepy. Wouldn't you agree? A lot of people have been feeling like this exhaustion of the soul, is how I would describe it. Hello from South Carolina. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes, do tell me where you're from. I'm very curious where my videos are ending up in the algorithm. Do tell and tell me your sun moon rising. Go ahead and guess mine. It's 12 a.m. here. It is 8:54 p.m. here. 888 could be significant. We're still channeling. I'm being called to grab one of my books in front of me. Let's see. Oh wow. Automatically to a French chapter. The experimenter and the finisher. In their nature, many artists lean towards one of two categories: experimenters or finishers. Experimenters are partial to dreaming and play, finding it more difficult to complete and release their work. Finishers are the mirror image, a backward reflection. They move quickly to the endpoint with immediate clarity. They are less interested in exploring the possibilities and alternatives that the experimentation and craft phases can suggest. Each might find it helpful to borrow from the other. Finishers might benefit from taking more time in the early phases, writing beyond the minimum requirement, experimenting with other materials, considerations, and perspectives, allowing themselves space for improvisation and surprise in the process. Experimenters might benefit from taking an aspect of the work through to completion. It might be a drawing, a song, or the chapter of a book. Even making one foundational decision from which to build can help. Sorry, I'm like distracted by the chat. What is your hobbies? This. These are my hobbies. Well, really, my whole life. Take the example of an album. If you're a musician struggling with 10 songs, narrow your focus to two. When we make the task more manageable and focused, a change occurs. And completing even a small segment builds confidence. Going from two to three is easier than going from zero to two. And if you happen to get stuck on three, then skip it and get four and five done. Complete as many elements of the project as you can without getting hung up. It's much easier to circle back once the workload is reduced. Often, the knowledge we gain from finishing the other pieces becomes a key to overcoming earlier obstacles. Interesting. Okay. So, message for someone out there: each mindset evokes a universal rule. Whatever we concentrate on, we get. A very similar law of attraction, right? If the mind creates a world that is limited where we think we don't have enough, can I speak? What book are you reading? It's called The Creative Way of Being. So sometimes I grab this at random. I have like a lot of books, a lot of books. I've done many book dumps. It's 11 here. What do the cards want to say? Really? Well, you maybe should ask more questions before you say things like that. But it looks like you're in the wrong space. So, some people really have no life. Scorpio energy. We will plan every detail. Gemini. Gemini is really good with the details. You might want to lean into your Gemini for your creative projects or your work or whatever you're going through. If you don't know what that is, go look at your birth chart. There are so many generators. It should give you like a really decent description, but man, to be honest, you guys, I guess like maybe this is a message for someone out there if they feel like they're struggling with this. I've been working out my Gemini as well as my sons, mostly my youngest son, but both of them technically. And, it is the way that they communicate, right? Share information, their curiosity, lots of things. But it does contribute to the throat chakra as well. And I had to do a lot of past life regression to unblock some of that. So if you haven't tried it, definitely go check it out. I don't know many people that do it personally. Needing to make a decision on something. And that could be meaning to take a step back from something else or take a break. Might even require I heard breaking up, but also breaking a lease or some kind of contract or something. Sacrificing one thing to get something else, but is it really a sacrifice if it was already dead and gone? Because that's kind of what I see here. High Priestess. Oh, okay. Well, you can see some of it. You see justice there, right? Back off. Who is this person? Bruh. I'll report you till the end of time. Where's your other annoying messages? That dude is pulling on my energy for no reason. You're obviously not here for the reading, clearly. High Priestess again. But in another deck, yeah, I feel like a lump in my throat chakra. So there's a conversation that might need to happen. Feels like a long time coming. The decision as well. I'm getting a little bit of a Five of Swords energy, like manipulative mind games. It could be at the workplace or in like social setting groups. I'm getting that too. I'm hearing a lot of that lately, huh? What's going on? I feel like they don't want me to move on from this. So let me dissect what's happening. Hmm. They're questioning I have this picture of a spaceship in outer space. Did we ever get to the moon? And how much do we really know about that? That's been a question, right? They said working with, not against. Okay. I also felt very nauseous, so your appetite could be changing as well. Be careful of fried food, old oil, things like that. Too true. Too. Virgo, welcome in. I actually have a Virgo card right in front of me. That's funny. My camera exposed the table just a second ago. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for coming back. I remember your username. We have Cancer, Aries, Scorpio. Really, all the signs are here, really, technically. A lot of Pisces, a lot of Pisces. I'm seeing like a polka dot dress and like pinup kind of fashion. Calamari. Mm, I'm getting like spices and like kneading dough. I've also been like getting the feeling to like make bread a lot for no reason. I just want to make bread. Then I got a pencil and then I saw a clip from Wolf on Wall Street. You guys know that movie? And it's the part where they're talking about selling a pen. And the guy goes, "Sell me this pen," basically. Um and I can't remember what the other guy said, but one of them says, "Hey, I need you to sign something." And then the other guy gives him a pen. And he was like, well, do you need a pen? And that was his way of selling a pen. So, supply and demand, right? Ask and you shall receive. So, if there's a problem, there could be a solution coming up that you create out of thin air, because you need something or because someone else needs something. So, it's almost being like an inventor, right? And then I'm saying like an architect. How do you even see an architect? I don't know, but that's what they're saying. I didn't really see an architect. That's the word I'm getting. I don't know. Because now I'm seeing like a sketch of like a building. That's good news. It sounds like it's good news. Yeah. I always hope to channel good things, but life be lifing as well. It be lifing. I just feel like in my chart, I'm supposed to be getting away from feeling the pressure of overperforming, which is very hard because I'm so good at it. I'm so good at it, but my soul cannot do it anymore. I'm just so exhausted. And so sometimes these readings are just like easier to do this way. And then I saw a scooter, like an electric scooter, but like one that you sit on, one of those small ones. Be careful of perfumes and things that you put around your eyes. That seems significant. I'm about to grab a mint from, it's a tin can and it's of a Ouija board. I feel like that's a channeled message also, though. Has anyone used a Ouija board? Anyone? Do you know what it is? No one? Well, I have. I feel like that deserves its own video. What do you guys think? Should I make its own video? Never used one? What do you know about it? I've only heard mostly negative things most of the time. My experience was also not that great. But for funsies, I have a mint tin can that has like what looks like a Ouija board art on it. Yeah. So as a reader, I'm also a medium, if you guys didn't know. I do dream interpret. You can also get a reading if you need your dreams interpreted. I am quite good. I am very good. I have a lot of dreams myself. A lot of my dreams do come true. Not always. Sometimes they're deeply psychological shadow work kind of dreams, is how I would describe them. Or my brain is just kind of trying to work out these like subconscious things. Or sometimes it's my guides trying to warn or show me something. Those are crazy. Those are crazy. I need to make separate videos talking more about that someday. Someday. You've been having crazy vivid dreams lately. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. Yes. The moon card is here too. I love the texture of some mints when you crush it with your teeth. And you remember them, which is odd. You don't usually remember your dreams. I do and I don't. Gosh, this reading is making me so sleepy. That's what's crazy. The High Priestess is here twice. But I've been hearing that all over TikTok too. In the spiritual industry sphere, I would say. Um, gosh, I had a dream. It wasn't good. um, it wasn't horrible either. I don't even remember how to describe it. I still have to meditate on that one. But I wouldn't say I woke up very happy. I'd say I woke up more stressed and confused, whereas I was hoping that me sleeping would resolve my issues, but apparently not. Apparently not. And you guys know, okay, so channeling again. Depending what kind of person you are, you can find this in your chart too. If you're someone that needs to stay still for a time, and I think people go through seasons of this, or if they're supposed to move, because I think that's also true. It's hard to find a balance, but sometimes you're doing more than others. Um, I had a dream with a baby a few times. Oh, interesting. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I saw a pair of headphones. Binaural beats is what I heard. Last night I was sitting at an edge of like a retention pond. Interesting. The water was dark and not moving. And I got the image of I don't know why they're putting it into these specific words, but it's drowning car. Drowning car. Um, and they're going back to like what I've experienced with my past life regression stuff. So I've had a lot of dreams and images ever since I was a kid about being in a vehicle, being in a car, being at the back of the car, being in a car backwards, being in a car in the trunk, being in the car passenger side, being in the car, no one's driving, all kinds of scenarios in a vehicle. I don't know why. Well, I didn't know why till I met Miriam and I started doing more past life regression stuff. But outside of the vehicle stuff, I would also get images of me drowning in a vehicle and sometimes just drowning in general. And like some of the dreams that I have and flashbacks and visions, it's like I'm looking up and I can see people like, but I'm in the water. You know how it's like murky, changes your vision. And I can see like the outer rim of the car and I can feel it in my throat. So I had a blocked throat chakra, which manifested in some very interesting ways. Like I had a very hard time speaking about how I felt ever since I was a kid, but it can be expressed in other ways, like as an artist and poetry. But when it comes to other things, it can be more of a challenge. And also the freedom to express. So think of it, water, emotions, right? And so when you feel that lump in your throat, it's actually the best time that you should be speaking up and speaking about something or what's on your mind. Whereas most people take that um as not good and they hold back and stop, right? Most of the time. That's crazy. That's so interesting. Yes, I highly recommend doing past life regression or just like being open minded to different things, modalities, tools, methods. Because I grew up in like a singular kind of belief and system and idea. And I wish I had the freedom to explore outside of that and how much that probably would have benefited me because it was more suitable for me. However, I was casted aside and I'm the black sheep. I am the scapegoat. I also attract a lot of them. So if you're in the chat, shout out. Hi, that's something I'm really interested in. William 4861. Which part? I'm touching so many subjects right now. Past life regression. Yes. Well, you can find it in your birth chart, your past lives, but you can also work with other shamans and mediums. I feel like Miriam has a very special gift. However, sometimes she runs out of go-go juice when it comes to those specific things. Um, but I do know that the product that she is providing to me and Heather to give to the public, to you guys, pretty soon, it's an added service that will go onto the website for the tarot readings. Well, it might not go on the website. We'll see. She might have her own link, and I might just have access to that where I can use that for you guys if you're interested in it. But basically, how I would describe it is it's a generator where it takes her amazing formulas and the way that she mentors people and helps people timeline jump and manifest. And she takes your birth chart information and then person B, whoever in question, right? And so before you invest into a person, place, or thing, you want to know the nitty gritty before doing anything, right? And so this would answer all your questions, simple yes and no, in a summary, basically. I do think she'll probably go more in depth with that over time. And it is going to come out in tears. So that will be very interesting. I'm really excited for that. Very excited. Yes. Oh yeah, past life regression. I do know that me and my sons died on a boat in a past life before. At one point, my youngest son was a mother to me in a different life. And it does make sense because of the way that he cares for me. He does have like a motherly instinct about him. I don't know how to describe it because a lot of males don't have that. um, but it's interesting, especially as a single mom, like how much he gives me grace. Like he sees, like, sometimes I'm just like so tired. And it's because he was a mom at one point. My mom. What does drowning heart mean to you? I don't know. Um, my oldest son, he did like treasure hunting in another life. Which is interesting because some of the shows and movies he watches would suggest that. Like they're very like scavenger hunty kind of shows. I don't think he would describe it that way, but a lot of them are. Jazzy Bella 87. Welcome in. You were channeling Drowning Heart. No, I was channeling Drowning Car. So I don't know what it means to me because I'm just channeling. I'm just the messenger. I just work here. It's you guys that got to tell me. Unless it doesn't resonate for you, then don't take the message, obviously. Yes, we were talking about drowning cars, and then that led me to describe the visions that I've had from ever since I was a child and then going into past life regression stuff. Um so I did a couple of sessions of past life regression work with Miriam recently without even realizing it because it just kind of happens naturally. while we're having conversations sometimes. Um, how would I even describe it? It's hard to describe the experience, but you are experiencing it. Like when she is talking, I see and feel things. And it's like I'm going back in time. And it almost feels like a settlement in my soul where something clicks. And then my spirit is like, okay, that's done. Lock it, put it in your pocket, never to be seen again. Whereas when you don't have past life regression, it's almost like this unsettled feeling, you know? That's how you know you need it is if the fact that if any of you are curious about it, I would highly recommend looking into it. Um, because that's kind of how it found me was just the natural curiosity. I think the question mark is enough. And now I'm like thinking of Bashar, and I know not everybody like believes in him or whatever, whatever, but I don't know. I think it's real. I think it's true. But he does mention like how all you really need to do in life to manifest what you want is to go after your desires. I think as a coach, sometimes what I've noticed with certain people and people that get tarot readings from me is not everyone really knows what they want. You think you know what you want. You think you have a desire. And I should be careful what I say. Don't go willy-nilly doing whatever you want just because you have some kind of desire. Be realistic and reasonable, right? Hopefully you're reasonable. But I'm thinking of like Page of Wands energy, the spark, the novice, the newbie, the the person that is excited to be there and learn kind of energy. Student for life is also what I heard. I like him. Yeah, I like Bashar. I feel like he's spot on with everything. And like there's times where it's just like it's so hard to argue too because he's so detached and it's not emotional. It's not based on anything political, and that's usually what people argue about is like, oh, you're biased, you're one side or the other. Whereas Bashar is not at all, not at all, and he has like no motive either. um but it leads me to like think of okay, so I just came across another video, and like I've never tried, so maybe someday I'll try, I don't know. But it's been said that other people have channeled Bashar, you know? Because who is the guy that does it? Yes, exactly. He's not at all. It's so interesting, right? Which then leads me to another subject of okay, so when I've had more timeline jumps and levels of awakening, my mediumship and like my energetic sensitivities have gotten stronger to where I've noticed shapeshifters and different layers of the matrix, like people having dark attachments to them, demons, shapeshifters, mimics, familiars, um I could I say like nymphs and sirens? Maybe. I want to call it something else though. I feel like it's more like demon behavior, dark attachments and stuff. Um, but yeah, I be seeing those. But I also feel like there's aliens just walking amongst us. There's different type of there's humans What I don't even know what you call it. It's not a transformer. It's not a shapeshifter either, but that's what it does. All I know is I would question if whoever is around you is really a people, if it's really a person. I'm saying that they exist. Oh, the other day I was pulling cards for the Gerald situation. You guys know that situation? The dolphin. How some dude said that Gerald the dolphin kidnapped him to help build a city underwater. And I was pulling cards with my son, and I'm like, okay, is it true? And it said yes. And dolphins are very smart. Dolphins are very smart. Did you know it's against the law in some places? I don't know what places, but I did dive deep enough to see that it was true. That I think pregnant women aren't supposed to touch dolphins, speak to dolphins, be close to them, something like that. And I'm just like, you know why? Because they have telepathy. They have telepathy. Channeling again, I think that's why the double high priestess is here, is because people are realizing that telepathy is real. Shared dreams more common, more vivid dreams, seeing layers to the matrix. Gosh, there was another weird glitch of the matrix scenario that I came across the other day when I was watching a video. William 4861. Yes, I pulled cards on Gerald too, and it said yes, it's true. Right? See? I think we need a Gerald Club. Can we make this channel the Gerald Club? I would love to do that. Especially growing up, because like my cousin, that was like one of her favorite animals. And I've had dreams of dolphins. So interesting. I never like quite dissected those dreams. I just kind of put them away in the back of my mind. And I'm just like, okay, that was weird. Oh my God, we do. Yeah, they raise the IQ of a unborn child, and if the mother swims with them. That's crazy. Yes, yes. I don't know who it was I was watching because it wasn't someone I regularly watched before, but it came up on my YouTube timeline. But it was explaining how the frequencies have changed, um and there's a scientific reason. Like, we've seen like these extreme solar flares, right? And with that comes a lot of spiritual experiences. So we've had more ghost sightings. We've also had like a boost in like those ghost apps, which not everybody believes in, but I definitely do and have used them. Just FYI, I can share some of that someday. What else? Gosh, all kinds of stuff. Um, but he said that someday we're going to get to a point where we won't really have to talk much at all to be able to tap into other levels of consciousness and communicate with each other without speaking. I know that Miriam has predicted that at some point we'll be able to put our hands on people and be able to heal, which is just like Reiki, even though technically they don't have to touch you. It's an energetic massage, right? I saw like thick paint brushes, like the square, thick kind. So random. And I heard takes two to tango. Well, that makes sense with Libra energy, right? With the scales. Also talking about connections and relationships, finding the balance. I've also found that to be difficult, but also makes it just more detrimental and crucial than ever before. And it's a question of like, okay, but why? Why is it so difficult? Why is this changing? And yeah, basically just trying to find the balance. I saw cauliflower. I heard Jack the Pumpkin King. I was channeling that in a intuitive watercolor reading. Oh, if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. I haven't added a new one in a bit, but I will. We've just been doing signs as like we felt called to them. Oh, they just keep repeating the message about decisions. Leaning on your Aries energy. Be careful to not get too much into your Pisces energy because it can get a little delulu, and also not seeing things correctly, which can make it hard to make well informed decisions if you don't have all the proper information, is what I'm hearing. But, well, there's that message again. Come July, there's another shift. Another shift in October, September, October, significantly. What else? Drink more water. Pay attention to the water. Look at the water. And that's where they want to end it, you guys. I guess. I guess. I did see that earlier. Pay attention to the water. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Until next time.